is going to try this, and it will be a 60, let's call it 63-yard attempt. Spotted at the Bronco 47-yard line. Sam's a little hot. Elam's kick. Oh, the line drive. It's got enough distance.
Welcome into the Long Distance Kicks podcast. My name is Rhett Johnson, and I am joined today in a color-coordinated fashion with my older brother, Ian. Ian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You started that one strong. I liked that. That was rich. That was full. Yeah, I like the color coordination. Dare I say it, a little bit Halloween-y as well. So,
yeah,
thematic, right?
The vibes
What
are
can I
high.
say?
I think this is gonna be our best. This is gonna be our best show yet.
That's what people have been saying.
That's
So,
what I've been hearing, and we're here to deliver. Not unlike our own Denver Broncos delivered on Monday night. A game where the expectation was a little bit of a beatdown, and that is what we got. Ian, how are you feeling now? Almost a full week removed. We've had time to sit on it. How do you feel about what went down in the Mile High City on Monday Night Football?
I feel really good about it. We talked, going into this game, we needed to see this. We needed to see a pretty dominant win. Cincinnati is without Joe Burrow. We're at home. Our defense has been generating pressure at, I think, a leading rate, leading rate, if I'm not mistaken. And so it was nice to see. There's always those fans who have the reaction of like, well, yeah, I was against the Bengals without Burrow. Like, of course. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It is the Bengals without Burrow, and we throttled them. So we did what we were supposed to do. So that all checks. So it's okay to feel good about that win. It was nice seeing probably what was the most complete game from honestly both sides of the ball, but particularly on offense. Rhett, what have we been talking about as a fan base the first few weeks of the season? We want to see Sean Payton getting that running game going. So what does he do? He lets J.K. Dobbins go out and be the first Broncos rusher since 2022 to go over 100 yards in a game. But he also got R.J. Harvey going, and I thought it was really cool what he did. He talked after the game, Rhett, that he decided to give R.J. and J.K. Man, I don't know how possibly more confusing that could be. Give each of them series at a time. So instead of, one coming off and one coming on multiple times in the same drive, he just said, okay, this is going to be RJ Harvey's drive, and then this is going to be J.K. Dobbins' drive. And it's hard to argue with what we saw. It seemed to work well. It seemed to allow both guys to get into a rhythm. I like what we saw with RJ Harvey as a receiver. Just a lot of positives to take away. I thought Bo Nix played really well. I think his interception in the end zone was mind-numbingly stupid, but outside of that, he was starting to set his feet. And Rhett, you saw when he set his feet, he was driving balls. My favorite throw, I think, was towards the end of the half, maybe like 5 minutes left in the second quarter to Marvin Mims. Or maybe it was later. I don't remember, but you know what I'm talking about, where he put it right where it needed to be. But then also he had a nice throw on that touchdown to Cortland Sutton as well, where he was feeling himself, he was planting his feet, and he was driving a powerful ball. Really good to see from Bo. Our defense, what else is there to say? I mean, Rhett, you probably saw the screenshot of 4 Bengals offensive linemen blocking Zach Allen, whilst Cooper and Benito are already like those two got off the play before any of the Bengals offense reacted. And it was pretty impressive to see. Great showing from our defense. I want to shout out Riley Moss in particular because our fan base will not stop hating on him. He opens up the game defending T. Higgins really well, but T makes a circus catch. And then I think there was a couple plays where penalties maybe bailed him out, but overall he played really well. And for some reason, our fan base just doesn't want to give him flowers. But, man, for a guy playing opposite the best corner in the game, I think he's done fantastic. So, shout out Riley Moss. Shout out Broncos. Really good win.
Yeah. I'm it was a game that felt more like a relief to me than like a get up and be like, oh yeah, like it was like a, okay, good, this is here, this is who we are. I I really do think like you can say, like we said, that what the defense did against that offense, like, oh, of course, with Joe Burrow being out, but all of those weapons that Cincinnati has, they like I predicted them to score 20 because simply that's what I thought. I thought we were going to go in and try to do pressure, and that there would just be a couple times where Jamar Chase he was just going to make a play,
Hmm.
and that was going to happen sometimes, and it was going to be whatever. And um, no, I mean we played that full game and never played
Yeah.
played a pretty heavy metal style, and we did not let any of Cincy's weapons really get going all game, and that I think is um, that's huge. That's huge for us, and it reminds us of how talented this defense can be. So that's number one. I am reminded, like, hey, this defense still has the juice. It's so good. It's
Hmm.
only going to be getting better as we get reinforcements back in the middle linebacker room, and as honestly as we just get into the season, better communication, less breakdowns. Like this defense is legit.
Yep.
And on offense, it f- it felt like the beginnings of seeing Sean Payton's his vision come to life. It felt like a very multiple offense. Smash Mouth, the offensive line played phenomenally. Their two running backs, like you said, went off, and it's like you can say, oh, we beat a bad Cincinnati team. Yes, but this felt more like we're establishing more of our identity. We're figuring out what's good, what's bad, what do we do when, when we need yardage, when our backs are up against the wall. What are some of the things that we can really lean on? We can lean on J.K. Dobbins. Like we just can. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
He's been really good.
I love J.K. Dobbins. He has been so good. RJ Harvey been providing juice. That's been wonderful. It's been incredible. But I was kind of expecting it to be more like JK is boring and responsible and kind of a meat and potatoes, eat your vegetables running back. And he's had a little bit more of that quickness that he used to have. He's had some
I
wiggle to
mean,
his game.
he's only 26. We forget that
Yeah.
because of some of those injuries he's been through. He's 26 years old, and we tend to archetype those types of players when two running backs share a backfield, right? Like because it's the
Hmm.
whole thunder and lightning. You think of like the
Yeah.
Lions backfield right now with Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. One does this really well, one does this really well, and that's not to say that Harvey and Dobbins don't have different skill sets, but they both have juice to them. They both run with an edge to them. They both bring a lot of the same things to the table, and it's been a beautiful thing as of this past Monday.
Yeah. So I think that Dobbins has a little bit more big play potential, a little bit more speed upside, and Harvey is more of a well-rounded running back than I have been anticipating. His vision is just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yep.
I love watching RJ Harvey run the ball. I can't wait till we get a Thursday night game and you can watch live like the prime vision where the camera is actually behind the O line. I cannot wait for that because I feel like this running game is really going to end up being hopefully the thing that we lean on as a team.
Hmm.
And then like the Bo conversation, yeah, we saw more of his feet being a little bit set. We still saw some of his throws like unnecessary, platform stuff, but as we begin cleaning it up, this was truly a get right game. This wasn't just a like beat up a bad team doing the same bad things and feel better about yourself. This felt like a lot cleaner um process, a lot cleaner action. Like
Yep.
this feels like something that we can take carrying forward.
Yeah, it was nice to see. Like, I know it wasn't like that crazy of a situation because the game was already locked up, but the touchdown to RJ at the end of the game there, where Bo
Hmm.
had pressure in his face, and it's not like it was an unbelievable play, but it was just good to see. It was good to see process, right? Like Bo
Hmm.
knows where he's going if a guy gets in his face, and he's able to successfully just not panic, just deliver that ball to RJ, who's in the clear. And I know, like, Sean Payton and Davis Webb, I don't know if you saw, but they were pretty fired up after that play, which was funny given the circumstance. Like, we were already running away with the
Hmm.
game. But it was just good to see. Yeah, it's good to see process run its course for sure in
Well,
this
because
offense.
that's what this offense is supposed to look like. Like, it
Absolutely.
is Hall of Fame play caller Sean Payton scheming guys wide open, and Bo Nix, like, system quarterback. I say, like, complimentary or whatever. Like, Bo Nix is supposed
Yep.
to be smart enough and accurate enough to
Yep.
take those easy things, and the two or three times a game where Sean Payton just hands you an explosive, he puts
Yep.
the ball where the ball's supposed to be. So, um, I thought it was an exciting. I think we should be optimistic about it, heading forward into a big game against Philly that we will be breaking down in a bit. But first, let's dip our toes into the draft world, into a little bit more of our comfort world, and let's talk about our big boy pants players of the week. Ian, who was the rookie this week for you that that finally that finally stood up and said, "Hey, U.S. government, send me taxes because I'm a grown man now and
Mm.
I've got a W-2. Wear the big boy pants." I don't know.
Yep. No, that's a great way to put it. It's not an exciting one for me, but an obvious one. And it's exciting in the sense that, like, we all know what he's capable of. My player is Ashton Genty of the Raiders. Obviously, we're not excited about that as a Raider, but
Hmm.
you can't deny that he looked good. He had 21 carries for 138 yards and a touchdown, averaged 6.6 yards per carry, Rhett, which you
Oof.
like seeing. But then also, what's really interesting is he had 2 catches for 17 yards, both for touchdowns. So Ashton Genty heavily contributing in week 4 against the Bears. Now, that results in a loss. They lose 25-24 to Chicago. But Ashton Genty, he showed everything you knew about him from Boise State.
Hmm.
It was fun to kind of watch him come alive. And honestly, uh, just seeing the Raiders lean into the run more. The last few
Hmm.
weeks, they have been, Chip Kelly has been having Geno just unload the clip to questionable results, right?
Yeah.
But now they've got, I mean, Genty gets his 21 carries, but then you got Raheem Mostert, 4 carries for 62 yards. Like, they're running the ball, and I know we're talking specifically about Genty. The reason I bring up the rushing is because I think his success on Sunday should have shown Las Vegas this is the path to success for us on the offensive side of the ball. It's
Hmm.
it's not Geno throwing the ball 40 times a game. It's leaning on Ashton Genty. We understand that we have playmakers in the passing game and Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, Jack Besh, guys like that. But we're going to make the feature this rushing attack, and Ashton Genty is the spearhead of that rushing attack. So we are going to feed him because he is young, he's explosive, he is our high draft pick, and it's through him that we're going to funnel this offense. And if they can do that, then they're going to start to find some more success. So Ashton Genty, heck of a performance this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's you don't want to give props, but you need to. I wonder. My question is, moving forward, do you think you're going to see him, like, hit his stride, and obviously he's not going to have this kind of game every game, but is this going to be more the normal, or do you think it's going to be more volatile considering how bad the offensive line has played in front of him?
I think it's a lot more up to Chip Kelly than it is they know what their guys on the offensive line are capable of. I think it's just more about is does Kelly continue to lean into this rushing attack? Because I think that regardless of injuries, I know, like, Colton Miller suffered an injury, which you don't like seeing. Genty's still going to get his. If you give him the volume, he's going to get his. So that's what I think. I think if
Okay.
it kind of goes as this offensive coaching staff wants it to go, in my opinion.
Hmm. It's up to Chip Kelly, not a phrase that has had a great track record in the NFL.
That's fair.
But we will see. For me, I have a much less flashy uh, Big Boy Pants award. I'm handing out my pants to Gray Zabel, the first round pick of
Mm.
the Seattle Seahawks.
Shout out to the
And
Bison, North Dakota State.
North Dakota State, NDSU, baby, an absolute powerhouse. Just like the offensive guards they produce. Gray Zabel, he's been starting for Seattle, and according to PFF, our friends at PFF, Gray Zabel so far uh, through 4 weeks um, has not a single. Well, this isn't a PFF thing. This is just a fact. He has yet to be penalized. Number one,
Wow.
and has only allowed, according to PFF, one pressure in four
Oh
games.
wow, that's impressive.
So, it, and that could be, I know that Seattle's offensive line is getting retooled all around, so like it may just be that like other guys are giving up pressures faster, and so like that, like it. But for him to show up and for him to the offense in general in Seattle, I would say, is running a little bit better early in the year than what I was expecting. I was a big skeptic, and they've had some success with it's is it Clint Kubiak that's running their offense
Yeah,
now, or yeah.
yeah,
I was like, it's Clint or Klein. I can't remember which Kubiak. Clint
that's Clint.
Kubiak is running the offense, so they're going to kind of that. They're going to that Denver scheme, not the San
Yeah,
Francisco. We got um, but that West Coast scheme with a new quarterback, retooled offensive line, new offensive coordinator. Um, it's
yep.
a whole project in Seattle, and for Gray's able to be holding up under all those conditions, yeah, under all those conditions, I think is really cool, and it's a nice reminder. Going interior offensive line early might
You,
be a good
you
idea.
got to. Got to. Yeah, no, I like this call out. I want to give some props to Seattle because
Hmm.
this was a prospect that was linked to them for a long time in the draft season. It's kind of an obvious pick. Um, and so just props to them when it came down to it. They could have done something different or flashy, but they just went with the rock solid prospect who was an obvious scheme fit at a position of need. And I think he's one of the pieces that has really allowed them to take to this new offense so
Hmm.
quickly. I mean, Sam Darnold continues to show that he has, probably rehabilitated his career. They've got a nice little 1-2 punch there with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. They've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then of course Torrey Horton looks like he might be something. But Gray Zabel's a big part of what's making all of this work. Yeah, man, I think that's a great call out, and yeah, Seattle, lots to be excited about right now
We
for
love it.
them.
Um, two things. Number one, I picked Seahawks for the last 2 weeks in a row. Did not think about that. So shout out.
Oh
Like
yeah, did you pick Torrey Horton last week?
I think last week, yeah.
How
So
about
hey,
that?
see my other team. Uh,
That's
I
right.
guess no. And then secondly, Ian, just really, really quick here through the first 4 weeks, like thoughts on this is exact with us. We talked about a Raider and a Seahawk. Geno Smith versus Sam Darnold here. How are you feeling if you're Seattle?
If I'm Seattle, I'm feeling great. Sam Darnold looks really good, man. Especially this last week, he was just making throws that made you think, okay, whatever he is here in Seattle is closer to what he was in Minnesota than in New York or Carolina. Uh,
Hmm.
I think he's really started to figure it out, which I'm happy for him. I think he is a good fit for that Kubiak scheme, and that's the thing. Like with Geno, who I also like very much,
Hmm.
Geno wouldn't have been as good of a fit in this scheme for them. So there's already that element, but then the fact that Sam Darnold, I think, no question, is playing better right now. Yeah, if you're Seattle, I think you're feeling great with the state of your team right now. That defense has already, in year 2 of Mike McDonald's tenure, settled into that scheme. They've been playing really, really good football, and the offense has taken to their new scheme really early. So, I mean, Seattle looks like a team that's, we're going to be, you know, seeing deep December, in the playoffs, early January,
Hmm.
making some noise.
Well, and it feels like Seattle's rediscovering or discovering like a new. They know who they want to be. They have an identity,
Absolutely.
and I wasn't a super fan of these moves that they were making in the offseason, but
Yep.
they were made with conviction. They came in, they handed the reins to Clint Kubiak, and then they said, "We're going to go find a quarterback that fits you." Okay, went out. They paid the money to get him. They moved off of a quarterback where there are certain members of the NFL zeitgeist space that are saying Geno's a top 10 quarterback for the last couple of years, and they were willing to move away from a quarterback like that. That's a tough quarterback to move from, where
Yep.
he's good enough. You're right.
Right.
And they moved away.
There's actually it's actually hard to upgrade on, like, it's like, well, you've got a pretty
Yeah,
good quarterback, and pretty
yes.
good is better than most.
And to take on the risk of, we moved away from Geno, a very liked quarterback. Everyone likes Geno Smith,
Sure.
to go get Sam Darnold, who was surprisingly good last year in Minnesota, but like at his worst is a meme, and and you would just like the GM of the Seahawks. I don't know who their GM is, but like is taking great risk. If you move
John
away from
Schneider.
if John Schneider moves away from Geno Smith, and Geno looks really good in Las Vegas, and Sam Darnold looks like old Sam Darnold in Seattle, he looks like an absolute idiot,
Yeah.
and no one would be mad at him for trying to make it work with Geno Smith in this
Yeah.
system. So
Yeah.
him taking that on, going and getting Cooper Cup, and
Yeah.
uh,
We hadn't even mentioned him yet. Yeah. Absolutely.
like and he's Cooper Cup's been doing fine, but
Yeah.
even
He's
just
been
going
good.
and getting a piece, that's a conviction piece. You know who knows how to run that offense really, really well and teach up all the receivers and do it? Cooper Cup knows how to do that. And
Yep.
they paid him for the fit as well. And it's working out.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. And
I
like,
want
just
I
just
was
to
not
be,
I was a
yeah.
hater for it. I did not think it was going to work. I'm congratulating them on it going well.
Yeah. And just to be clear to anybody who might be listening, we are not chiseling in the tombstone of Geno Smith by any means. He's had a
Mhm.
rougher start to the season, but I don't think that means he can't get it figured out and continue to play solid like we know he has the last couple of years. This is just more of, yeah, this is kind of a win for Seattle. They made the right call. Their offense is headed in a good direction. Their defense is already in a really good spot. And you're right. That's exactly it. They just know who they want to be. They know what they want their identity to be, and they have moved towards that with conviction. So, yeah, I mean, good for the Seahawks, man.
Good
That's
job.
it. That's
Good
an
job,
interesting
Seattle.
division. It's an
I would
interesting division.
I would, however, I would like to chisel in the tombstone of Geno Smith's career. That would be great. That would be
That's
great
fair.
if the Raiders sent a third round pick to Seattle for him, and then he sucked. That'd be positive. But we're gonna put a pin in that conversation for now, and let's talk about early beef, Ian.
Yep,
We love talking about the offensive line. We love the idea
we
of
do.
Denver upgrading O line. Not necessarily. Well, obviously, we have a great O line, but we think that this is an area of the team that we can continue to invest in, and we just want to take a look at who might be there. And man, today's uh, today's star of the early beef segment is a man. Why do we have There we go. Is a man named Jennings Dunker, and he plays like it. He
And
is
he
a
looks like
guard.
it.
He does look like it, man. Look at that. He's a guard slash tackle from Iowa. He is 6'5", 315 pounds. He's a senior. And I need you to understand, he's a human psychology maker, and he's on the academic All Big Ten team. So uh, this is not your typical just
Yeah, don't judge a
big
book by its
dumb
cover, people.
O lineman, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't judge him by his hair. Understand that there's a brain underneath those red locks that are shaved down into like a mullet, with the mustache going on. Ian, what leaps off the film to you whenever you watch Jennings Dunker?
the things that leap off are motor and nastiness. To me, those are the most obvious things that scream at you when you watch him. So he's
Mhm.
got a wrestling background. He also has a track background, and I think that shows too. I mean, like 6'5", 315. He's
Mhm.
he's quick, right? You see that a lot. I feel like we've watched some really good movers since we've been doing this segment from the offensive line. I
Hmm.
don't think I would put him among the very elite, but you do like the quickness. Listen, I think the obvious thing with him, Rhett, I mean, his play strength is off the charts.
Hmm.
This is just from what I watched from last year. If he gets his hands on you, you are going wherever he's taking you.
Yeah.
I don't know that I actually saw otherwise. It was pretty much consistent. Like, yeah, if he gets his hands on a guy, that's it. Like that guy is now out of the play. Really, really impressive play strength. Great at the point of attack. He's got that punch that is, yeah. He's just got a lot of great. I like his versatility. He has experience at both right and left guard. Wait, it's one thing to be a versatile offensive lineman. I feel like when you're a versatile offensive lineman at Iowa, it just means something a little bit more too because
Hmm.
of how
Hmm.
seriously they take that unit. Um, yeah, I mean, he was a ton of fun to watch. We talk about like he kind of plays like he looks,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
his name kind of fits his playing style. Uh, he's not perfect, okay. This doesn't even have to be a bad thing, but like I look at kind of his arm length. I don't know what it is, but based on what it looks like, I think he's probably a guard in the pros.
Hmm.
Um, and that's never like derogatory. In the draft world, there's always that like, yeah, the tackle who has to move to guard in the NFL, and that's just kind of I just think his skill set probably lends itself better. Now, part of the problem with that is I think being 6'5", kind of that leaner 6'5", I think moving inside, there's going to just naturally that's going to naturally lead to pad level issues, which
Hmm.
he does have some occasionally. I mean, he's 6'5", he's a tall guy, right? Um, I think his flexibility is average. I think his lateral quickness is average. I don't think it's bad, but
Hmm.
it's not something that wows me. And I'll say this too: like elite speed guys can beat him fairly consistently. Like he does struggle with that. Like he'll overcorrect a little bit with like the real elite get off speed guys, and that's part of like moving him inside. I think helps with that at the
Hmm.
next level. So he's not perfect. I think there's areas where he could improve, but at the end of the day, Rhett, I mean, physicality and nastiness that just still accounts for something in this game.
Yeah.
There is. I love the positions in football where there is like a specific psyche that goes with that position. Corner is one of those. Okay,
Hmm.
you could argue that receiver is one of the. I would say like an interior offensive lineman, which again I'm projecting Jennings to be that more full time.
Hmm.
I think of like we think of Quinn Miners on our team and that whole he's punching trees in the forest for his workouts and he's got the dreads and he lets the belly hang out and he
Yeah.
kind of that quirky tough guy, and Gennings Dunker is the same way, and I just think that counts for something. I think the nastiness mentality will serve him, and I don't think right now today he's a first round pick, Rhett, but I think that probably day two, if you want a guy that you can develop who day one can come in and just be a road grader, Jennings Dunker is a very fun and exciting option. So yeah, what did you think about him?
Yeah, I agree. I'll like start with just my projected grade. I see him as someone that can go late second, third round is where just watching the film. That's he has the feeling of that. Um, yeah, dude treats every rep like it's personal.
Yep.
Like there is a fight. I watched two games of film back to back. The first one, Iowa State. So a game where Iowa and Iowa State, they're at similar levels. The
Yep.
talent level you're assuming is going to be somewhere somewhat similar. And then I watched them play Ohio State, where the
Yep.
talent level is very different. And
Yep.
against Iowa State, what I saw was just a violent man. Just it was really fun tape to watch. He was
Yep.
moving forward every single snap. Run pass didn't matter. Man was
Yeah.
going forward. Um, and you love that attitude. The one thing that one of the negatives that I had for him is that it seems like he has he's like a dominant pitcher with a fastball, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fair. That's fair.
where for him, he's going to get after you and try really hard. He's trying to he almost like a pass rusher, like trying to get the snap count off. Like he's hitting people, and if he misses, he gets himself into some trouble. And against Iowa State, he would miss with his punch and whatnot, and could recover back, and it was fine. But he's always trying to give a knockout punch.
Yep.
For him, it felt like there's not really uh, there has to be these play calls, right, in some of these schemes where it's like your job isn't necessarily to go kick this guy's butt. Your job is to wall this guy off and just make sure he's not going anywhere. And Jennings Dunker is like, I no, I don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
I pancake. That's
He
what I'm
knows
trying
one
to do.
speed. Yep.
He's got 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's throwing that. He's a closer. He's just trying to punch three guys out. Um, and that was cool. And then it flipped to Ohio State, and Ohio State almost gave me a better sense of who he was and made me feel better about him at the NFL level, because against Ohio State, it was like four guys losing ground and then Jennings Dunker fighting for his
He
life.
he was playing with the heart of a lion in that game.
Just, I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of the Iowa offensive line, the rest of their team, just being overwhelmed immediately every snap. Like the team itself, they're getting blown out, and Jennings is just snap to snap, as if his very life depended on it.
He's
Like
throwing haymakers.
he is
It
giving his
reminded
life
me
to
of
to pull out like a draw.
it reminded me of the Patriot, like that scene, the final
Yes.
battle where Mel Gibson's just running the opposite direction of everyone else. He's just like, wait, wait. It was awesome, man.
Uh,
He
he
left it
just
all
keeps
out
getting
there in
he
that
just
game.
keeps getting shot in like the shoulder and then getting up and like, oh no. Like, yeah, um that tape, because it showed me, okay, in the NFL, he's going to be facing similar problems to that. There's going to be guys that are bigger than him and stronger than him and maybe even faster than him, and it I think he has the capability in the run game to make up that for that with human psychology major. He's a human socio psychopath, in between the lines, and that is good. My one concern, the thing that's keeping him from being a first round grade for me, is I think of him as a guard as well, is the question in pass protection, because
Mhm.
it's a hard discipline for him to shift into, to be like, he just doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's his thing when he does it. Like, I
Yeah,
can't say that he was terrible at it. I am not a trained NFL eye on this. It's just when he's pass protecting, he just doesn't look like that's his comfort zone. That's what he's comfortable doing. And so
that's fair.
I'm a little bit, that's the question that I have, is if he gets to the NFL and he's in an offense where he's going to be asked to be making, pass sets over and over and over again against high level interior rushers, like, is that something that he's going to be able to do consistently, or is he going to be really dependent on going to a team where the scheme is run heavy play action? Like you could
Yeah,
probably, like, if how do I say this, like, he could go to Detroit today and
he'd
like
be
survive in that offensive line, in that
he is
environment.
like the Dan Campbell ethos, man. Well, and
Yeah,
he would be like he'd be a guard opposite Tate Ratledge, who is another son of a
yeah.
gun, man. That would be
And at
such
the
a
same time, I think if he went to Tampa, he would suck, like,
you're
kind of
right.
thing. Like, or
Yeah.
I'm trying to think more that we've really shifted more into a running culture across the NFL, but one of those, a more of an air it out team, a shotgun team, and he might not be, overly. There's a chance he's not playable, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but love Jennings Dunker though.
He's awesome, man. He's fun. It's just one of those ones you watch some because you have to. This is one you watch for you,
Mm.
right? Like you just that's fun, man.
Do one for them, do one for you.
That's right.
Yeah. So shout out Jennings, man. Uh, We love him.
Oh, hold on.
Uh,
Before we move on, Rhett, have you
oh
seen? I don't remember what I screenshotted it. Have you seen his diet? This thing about his diet.
no,
We gotta talk about this. Okay,
send it to me while
so
you're
well
talking.
here I'm gonna read it right
Okay,
now. So I don't know who to credit on this, but somebody else. Obviously, this was not me that found out this information. So the night before kickoff, okay, the night before 11 a.m. kickoff, 5:30 p.m. 2 to 3 servings of pasta with meat marinara sauce, a couple of bread rolls, 12-ounce steak, and 2 servings of fruit. And then at 8:30 p.m., three
oh,
hours, only 3 hours after that, 3 hamburgers, 3 bags of baked Lay's chips, drip drop hydration mix, and hot chocolate. And then I guess he just goes to sleep somehow. And then on game day at 7:15 a.m., he has 4 pieces of toast, 2 bowls of Wheaties, a couple pancakes, 2 chicken breasts, 24 ounces of water, and a drip drop hydration mix. 9 a.m. he has 4 pieces of toast and a chicken breast. 10:15 a.m. he has Martin gel. I don't know what that is. That's embarrassing. A honey stinger energy waffle and chews, and a drip drop hydration mix. And then throughout the game, he has Powerade, water, a honey stinger waffles, and chews. At halftime, he has another Martin gel and then a honey stinger energy waffle and chews. And then his post-game meal, he goes to Culver's. He has a double bacon cheeseburger, a family-size order of cheese curds or onion rings, and 3 sides of ranch. So there you have it, people.
gee, I
Absolute
can't.
unit.
I couldn't function with that amount of food, and with any of those meals, I
That's a
would
full-time
be.
job.
I just like that he goes. I like that he goes to Culver's. Like that's the most Iowa. Uh,
You're right. Gets the cheese curds.
Shout out Culver's though. Culver's is top two at least in my
It's
regional
really good.
burger ranking. Ian, do you have a favorite regional burger place?
A favorite regional burger place. I mean,
Yeah, you know,
Whataburger is my favorite. 100%. It's not
I
in
love,
this region,
yeah, I love
but
Whataburger.
Southwest.
Um, but like today, my two favorites are Culver's and Shake Shack. I really,
Those are good. Well, the underrated
I,
one is Cookout. Uh, that's
Cookout's
more. Isn't
good.
that more like East Coast,
Yes,
like Southeast?
Is Southeast, man.
Like you get like that whole tray,
Hmm.
and it's like the burger's like a 7 out of 10, and like the
Yeah,
the meal is a total is so cheap.
and
Uh,
I Cookout's the
man,
most honest.
it is.
Cookout knows what you're there
You
for.
can get a
Like
delicious
you're not there.
milkshake. You get
Mm,
it like yeah, you're coming to eat cheaply, and you
hmm.
understand that you're getting cheap food. Yeah.
No
Anyways,
one on the staff pretends they want to be there, but they make your food and it
they
slaps.
get the
It's
job
so
done.
good.
It is
Yeah.
good. Yeah. I wish we
Uh,
had more further west. So
yeah. Shout out to burgers just in general. They're really keeping
why not?
America strong. We love
Why
it.
not?
Um, Ian,
Yes,
do we dare as Broncos faithful? Do we hope for a win tomorrow?
we do. We do hope for
We
a win,
do.
Rhett.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're 2-2. We hope for a win, man. Are we rolling into this segment now?
Yes. There it
Yeah,
is. Boom.
there it is.
Boom. Upset watch. How will Denver fare in Philly? Fare with a
Yeah.
PH.
I guess I'll go ahead and talk about this first. Rhett, I don't like being in this group because it feels like a lot of people are jumping on this, and so that naturally makes me want to not. But if I have to be honest with you, all week long I have been sitting here thinking, I see a way for this to happen. I see the vision. I dare to hope. Uh, I don't know. Some of it is maybe just the ramifications. Understanding that going into Philadelphia and winning would be one of the bigger wins of the Sean Payton era. It would be the biggest win of Bo Nix's career thus far. It would do a lot to start unraveling the narrative of him against great teams, or just this
Hmm.
team in general against
Yeah.
great teams. There's also just like, if we're just being honest, I think like the Eagles under Jalen Hurts, they haven't lost since like last September, which
Yeah.
sounds crazy, but I think that's actually true. There's part of you that just after a time you're like, okay, any minute now this has to stop. Like the streak has to end. Why not us, right? Rhett, I'll talk to you a little bit why I think I could see us winning this game. And you know me, you know I'm very hesitant to do this type of thing. I try to be really unbiased about it. Philly's got a great defense. There's no doubt about it. Uncle Vic is out there getting those guys playing. Okay, I've been really bothered all week long thinking about the linebacker tandem of Zach Bond and Jihad Campbell, who are absolutely sensational. You've got in the secondary, you've got Quinyon Mitchell, you've got Cooper DeJean, you've got Reed Blankenship. They have another corner that I'm not thinking of for some reason that feels obvious. But anyways, they've got a really talented defense. They've got on the line, they've got some of the biggest dudes you'll ever see. They got Jalen Carter. They got Jordan Davis. This is a really impressive unit. Okay. The one area where I feel like there are opportunities to exploit are on the edges, right? Teams have found success running on the edges, and we have an interesting matchup there because we have a couple guys in Garrett Bowles and Michael McGlinchey who this season have been pretty sensational. As our Garrett Bowles, I think, is like PFF's highest rated tackle or something like. He's been unbelievable, both as a pass blocker, as a run blocker. And Rhett, it felt like starting with this last week, it just felt like Sean Payton kind of found his footing with his running game, where it's like, yeah, okay, I think I found what I want this to look like. And so I feel like there's potential for us to go into this game really wanting to emphasize running, but also kind of running off tackle. And I think it could be possible that this is where we start to see RJ Harvey pick up steam, because RJ Harvey tends to like to bounce it outside. Okay. And he does have that explosion to take it the distance if there's something there. Okay. So I think this defense is awesome. I'm not trying to be above my skis here, but I do see a path for us to be able to move the ball consistently. And here's the thing, Rhett, their pass defense is amazing, all that. Like I initially come into it and I'm like, well, Bo Nix is going to struggle. But if we are running the ball with success, that starts to open those other things up, right? That starts to free it up. It feels like Sean Payton's getting a little more comfortable with just like, okay, we're going to let Bo do some RPO stuff, and that's fine. We're just going to live with the fact that, because he's really good at that stuff. And it could feel like the running game leads to us finding more success overall on offense in this game. If you look at the Eagles' offense, while it is packed with talent, they have not been especially successful. I think they're like 21st and 22nd in rushing and passing or something like that. Or I think rushing they're higher. Rushing they're closer to league average or maybe a little above. But it's not for a team that has that offensive line and Saquon Barkley. It's not what you would expect. A.J. Brown, they've struggled to get him involved. Devontae Smith hasn't really been that involved. And they're frustrated about it. I know that's been kind of a big story this week. Jalen Hurts is not lighting it up. And I'm not trying to take this opportunity to disrespect him. It's just calling it as I see it. He has not been lighting it up. I would go as far as to say I'm not super concerned with that part. I think our defense will be okay. I will tell you this: Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, who Lane Johnson will play tomorrow, versus Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be
It's going to be
fun.
cinema.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see who kind of gets the better of who and all that. But I like our defense to play them hard. I think for our offense, if our defense can play the way we know that they can, and then our offense is dictating like kind of the flow of the game, they are running the ball well, they are not making dumb mistakes, giving the Eagles the ball off a turnover on our like 35, I think this is a game where we could slowly bleed it out and we could get away with a narrow win. And I'm not afraid to be optimistic that can happen.
Good. I mean, that's good to hear. If something like that happens, if we win a low scoring bleeded out game and our D line outplays Philly's offensive line and Nick Benino gets in for a sack or two or whatever, it's the official start of his legitimate defensive player of the year. Like, like it's
Absolutely.
his like for your consideration film for like the Oscar season. Like,
Yep.
hey, he went up against Joe Alt uh 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago and and was
Whipped him.
is the first guy who really told Joe Alt like gave it was like welcome to the league
Yeah.
more than a year in, but here,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and absolutely just made like yeah made Bengals tackles disappear like he
Yep.
was Penn and Teller. And if he can do this to Jordan Mailata and to Lane Johnson, then the conversation gets real where it's like like
Totally.
it's not going to happen because they're not going to
Totally.
give it to two separate players on the same team 2 years in a row. But oh man, like
Maybe.
it's going to have to be like it's going to
If
be.
if I'll put it this way, if he is not currently in the conversation, and
Mhm.
I know it's way too early to be having that conversation, but if he's not, then we're having the wrong conversation.
Yeah,
Like
and this is the time of the year where people start to talk about those things, and so
yeah,
it could be. I mean, this could be a really cool timing for him just to say like
totally.
if it goes out, then that could be maybe like the way to talk about this game that the
Yep.
national like narrative takes on.
Yep.
I like the optimism. I don't have it. I don't think that we um I see those areas. I think a lot of your things, but everywhere else is this is a Philly team with a really great roster, and
Yep.
there are some issues that we're going to have with it. Like we've had issues with big, strong offensive lines before, and just being able to stop the run.
Excuse
We're
me.
a smaller defensive unit weight wise, and like Philadelphia might
Yeah.
not have to throw the ball. Like I think I would not be
Totally.
shocked. Like one of the weird, like I've been thinking, like if we were to do bold predictions or whatever, one of the things I've been thinking is like, what if Jalen Hurts? What if the Eagles win this game and Jalen Hurts attempts less than 10 passes? Um,
I,
like
I mean, yeah,
because
crazier things have happened.
if I were the Philadelphia coaching staff, I would say this team is small and they're incredibly good. Like they have an incredible secondary. why why would we even try to win there? Like let's move laterally against them and let's be big
Yeah.
and
And
make the whole game about the linebackers for
and
Denver.
you're probably right. I will say this, despite us being a smaller front, we are,
Mhm.
I mean, we have done well against the run in I think like every gap on
Yeah.
the like we've done really well with that. And so, but you're right. I mean,
Yeah, we're not it's not even
this is
that
a
we're a bad
big
team against the run. Yeah, it's
offensive line.
the
And
Eagles
it's
are a
Saquon.
they're a different kind of big and dominant or whatever. And then yeah, like we have Alex Singleton, they have Saquon Barkley, and that's like I'm concerned
Yep.
about that matchup.
Yeah.
Um,
Nope, I hear you.
and yeah, and on offense, I'm wondering Vic Fangio against a second year quarterback. Like that, I'm going to
Yeah.
be interested in that when the Broncos have
They're
the ball. Sean Payton and Vic Fangio playing games with each other is going to be
yeah,
really fun.
surely Vic is going to look to take Cortland Sutton out of the equation. Like that's
That's
I think they're gonna want to tell Bo, like, you're gonna have to look elsewhere if you want to try
Mhm.
to move the ball through the air.
The nice thing is that the Eagles don't have a good second outside corner because they refuse to move any of their interior talent outside. So I've been wondering if this is a Marvin Mims game or a Troy Franklin game on the outside. Like if this
Yeah,
is lining up someone on the opposite side of Cortland. Um,
that would be great.
we will see. I mean, we know a lot about the Vic Fangio defense,
We
and
do.
I'm wondering what is his plan for trying to put trying to take away those explosives, right? Those downfield routes. He likes to
Yeah,
put a strong lid and
I know, and
uh
he's got the shell to do it too because Makuba has played
mhm,
awesome. Reed Blankenship's really solid. Like he's got Vic has the secondary pieces that we know Vic prefers to have.
yeah.
in order to run the defense the way he wants to. So yeah,
Now,
I'm with you.
the thing is that if Bo Nix is really taking a step forward, and if he can stay set in the pocket, then the defense is vulnerable to, we can have long sustained drives, right, against
Yep.
them. Like there's those holes underneath. And if you do that, then that's your game script where
Yep.
you're talking optimism of, is if we can win the battle on defense and really
Yep.
keep Philly in check, which Philly hasn't been lighting the world on fire on the
No,
scoreboard. Like
they
that's the
haven't.
thing. They very
They've been
nearly lost to Tampa
unimpressive.
Bay.
They've been
They've
unimpressive.
Yeah. So
They
it could
sorry.
happen. It could happen.
Yeah.
And then our one pathway to success actually is probably a decent pathway to winning the game. We're going to have to control. We're probably not going to get a lot of explosives on Philly. So, um,
Yeah. So Rhett, like in against Tampa this last week with the Eagles, like
mhm,
I was watching. So Todd Bowles in the first half did exactly what you would think when you are getting ready to watch it. Like he was sending all kinds of fun,
mhm,
blitz. He was manufacturing pressure in all kinds of ways, and the Eagles were doing pretty well with that. In the second half, the Eagles offense did next to nothing, and Bowles just started rushing 3 or 4. Like he wasn't doing any blitzes or anything like that. He
mhm,
was just sending. And fortunately for us, we have been generating pressure really well by outside of blitzing. Like we've just been
mhm.
rushing 3 and 4 and generating a lot of pressure. So that gives me some hope. Now, granted, Lane Johnson is coming back into the equation, and he's been one of the best tackles in the league for a long time. So he factors into that for sure. But it's just something to think about. Like, is VJ going to have the foresight to say, you know what, I'm not just going to be a sociopath with the way I'm calling these all these different, exotic, these sim pressures and everything. But then also, I really hope that because Fangio, VJ has loved blitzing and he loves man coverage. I really think we probably need to move away from the man coverage for this game. I think the Eagles have done really well versus man coverage. I think if we want to be able to keep this close, we're going to have to consider playing a heavy amount of zone. We'll see what he
Which
does, but
we played more zone against Cincinnati than we
you're
normally
right.
do.
You're right. That's fair.
And
We did.
so I like I'm wondering if that even factored some into playing so much zone against Cincy. It was is preparing ourselves for Philly. I don't know how that works in the NFL, but um, going more zone, I think is
Yeah.
there is that possibility of keeping everything in front of us and forcing Philadelphia to execute their way. The thing in the thing in the pit of my stomach is just, I think we have a good chance of making this game close. And then it's a Philadelphia team that's just incredibly good at just manufacturing
They
wins in close games
they are so good situationally. That's part of why
against
they're undefeated.
and we as a young developing team are just not, that's not been our
We're
cup of
not.
tea.
We're
We've
not.
given away a lot of games.
And I
Uh
will say this too, Rhett. Sorry, you should finish what you were going to say.
that was just that like, you come down to that, and it's one team that's really good at
Yeah.
winning games and one team that's not good yet at winning games, and it's probably going to be the team that's good at winning games that wins the game.
Yeah, and I think the biggest gap in this game, if you were talking about like discrepancy of how well they've been playing, is probably their special teams versus our special teams, because
Yeah.
their special teams has been awesome. Ours is really still kind of getting its legs underneath it. Like
Hmm.
had some uncharacteristic mistakes, were things we need to clean up. Their special teams has been stellar, so I wouldn't be surprised for there to be something, whether it's a muffed punt or something like that. They're able
Hmm.
to consistently get better field position on returns, whatever it is. That makes a difference as well, tipping the scales. So we'll see. But Rhett, we got the noon game tomorrow, and
Yeah,
we'll see what this team is made made of, I guess.
that's exciting. It's good to have the noon game. Because I've got late afternoon tickets to the Taylor Swift movie. I don't know
There you
if
go.
you're taking that cinema in this weekend, but
No, Sundays are busy for me.
all
So
right. That's too bad. That's too bad.
yeah.
That's okay. I suppose you don't know the life of a showgirl, and you're never gonna wanna. That's the thing.
I guess
Um,
so. Maybe you just need to
yeah,
grow up. That could be it.
yeah.
I'm just
Um,
joking.
so Ian, what's your score prediction? I need to do the math on which one of us won last week in
Oh
the
yeah,
score predictor.
I can't even remember what I said last week. I think
Neither
I
one
said
of
like
us.
yeah, I think I said
Neither what.
24-13 Denver.
Well, I have no idea what I guessed. Actually, exactly. Yeah, you're correct. 24-13. I guessed 38-20. Um, spiritually, my prediction feels more correct, but
I would agree with that.
I think I think points wise, I was off by 10. You were off by 4 on the Broncos score. I was off by 17. You were off by 10.
Yeah. You really thought Jake Browning was going to come in there and put 20 on us.
I thought it was going to be like 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and we
Yeah.
were all going to freak out, and then they were going to do nothing. That's just slow starts,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Or a Bo Nix dumb interception. I was
Yeah.
anticipating some like really infuriating points off turnovers. Um, so so that's also that's 4 weeks. That's 4 wins for you in the predictor game. But hope springs eternal. So Ian, give me your score predictions for Denver versus Philly.
Well, Rhett, we just said it with our last segment. You do one for them, you do one for you. I'm doing one for me today. Uh, yeah, 24-23 Denver. I think for whatever reason, I just got a feeling. For once, I'm gonna let myself lean into that feeling, and
Ooh,
yeah, we'll see what happens. At this time tomorrow, we could be laughing about it, but that's what I'm guessing.
did you say 24-15?
24-23 Denver.
24-23. Okay. I heard 15 and I was like, that's not a football score. Okay, 24-23. That the
I mean,
24-23
you can get
win.
that score.
Yeah, you can. That's just not a football score. That's just not
Well,
a
I didn't
number of
say it,
points that
so
I know.
yeah, you're
That's
right.
that I was caught so off guard by it. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
was like, I
no,
was like, um, my
you could not have.
prediction.
Rhett, you could not have come out of the gate more rattled there. Okay, let's get it together. Come on, we got to close this out.
All right, all right, all right. I'm do one for you, do one for me. I'm doing one for them. I'm, I'm predicting what's in my gut, and my gut is an infuriating 20-16 loss, uh,
Okay.
where we are we are within a score the whole game, and feeling like we have a chance to win it, and just never close the deal. Um, so
Yeah,
that's.
and I get why that is infuriating. I will say this, in given the context of this year specifically and some of our other
Mhm.
losses, I would actually prefer if we're going to lose for it to be something like that, because we can keep the narrative going of like, well, all these they play these undefeated teams and they're still hanging close. So pretty soon we're going to see the script flipped here. We can keep writing that a
Yeah,
little bit, but I do
yeah,
get why
that's
that's an infuriating way to lose.
like I'm predicting just the entire time, like so many like the Broncos. All right, we got the ball again. Hey, we're only down, like
Yeah,
at some point it's 20-13, like midway through the fourth, and we
yeah,
have to settle for a field goal, and thinking maybe we get the ball back, and then the Eagles just hold the ball for eight
and they
minutes to
just
end the
yeah,
game, or something just ridiculous like that.
yeah,
It's like, ah.
yeah.
So that's my score prediction. Um, Ian, do you have any final parting thoughts for us as we head into this game tomorrow?
I don't. I look, as annoying as it sounds to say, regardless of what happens tomorrow, the season it still continues to be young. If we lose, we're going to be 2-3.
Mhm.
Uh, Heading into a week where we got to go to London and play the Jets, and we're still going to be very much in it. So I just hope that Broncos country doesn't panic if we don't win against the defending Super Bowl champs, who haven't lost a game this year and haven't lost a game since last September. I just like to see the competition. So
Yeah. I think we have to remember that win or lose, we get the Jets next. That's what we
the
have
old
to remember.
adage.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.